Hi, I'm Sarah Aguilar, co-founder of LIV NRG, and I'm here with Darryl Edwards, the author of Animal Moves and founder of the Primal Play Method. So what is the Primal Play Method?
It's really combining our natural, instinctive, primal requirement to move with play theory. So how can we make exercise more fun, more engaging, more compelling to get us off our chairs, get us out of our homes and having more fun with movement?
For people who don't like to do exercise or feel like they're not motivated for exercise.
Exactly. So whether you find it difficult to exercise or whether you just want a different challenge. So conventional fitness usually means you're doing the things that you love to do repetitively, so you build up your skills in it, whereas primal play is more about let's explore what the body's capable of doing. Let's explore how I move differently in different environments, especially in the outdoors. And most importantly, ensuring that you're having fun during the process. So instead of being outcome-based, where you go, hey, I feel great because I've achieved X or Y, you're going, this just feels great right now.
You're
and I'm going to do it for as long as I need to, right? Yeah. It may be 1 minute, it may be half an hour. As long as I'm having fun and having a good time, then you receive all the benefits of physical activity, but also the kind of, you be in the right sort of headspace as well.
So how can you incorporate more of that into your day?
I mean, really, it's about looking at more opportunities for movement throughout your day. So if you're desk bound, sitting at your desk, then maybe you decide every time I get a phone call, I'll stand. I'll take a phone call standing. Instead of sending an email or an instant message to my colleague who's on the floor above, I'll just take the stairs and chat to them. You know, I'll have standing meetings, I'll have walking meetings. So before you know it, that little bit of bit by bit, cumulative difference of movement means you might get 20, 30 minutes of movement in your day.
Of extra exercise without even realizing it.
Without realizing it, right? You'll be more productive, you'll improve your concentration, you'll be more creative in a workspace environment.
How does it make you more productive and creative?
Well, physical activity, I mean, basically the more that you sit, the more lethargic you become. So even though we feel that to maintain focus, you've just got to be in this sedentary state of like, let me just sit here, let me just stay focused. Actually, the evidence suggests by having regular breaks, same for children. Children who have regular breaks of physical activity are actually more attentive, more creative, more focused, have significant improvements in cognitive ability by doing so. And it's the same for us as adults. If you're in a workspace, by having more movement in your day, you collaborate more, there's better team building, better rapport, and you're also getting the physical activity benefits. So reducing sedentary activity is beneficial.
So you can concentrate better and feel better, and you probably won't need to reach for so many coffees as well, or any kind of sugary snack.
Well, yeah. Just you just walk past the vending machine. That's
That's
yeah.
the goal.
Yeah. So normally you get out your chair, you walk to the vending machine and back. Actually, walk past the vending machine.
Yeah.
as one of the games that you can take part in. But no, in all seriousness, like there's significant evidence just in relation to the impact of sitting time. So the amount of time you spend seated during a day. If you're sitting for 6 or more hours per day, you need to do 60 minutes of physical activity per day to undo a 6-hour working day of being sedentary.
So if you just go to the gym for an hour after being at work, isn't that good enough?
No, that will just redress the balance. That will just get you to undo the harmful impact of sitting all day. And if you imagine that 6 hours, that's not just working time, that's going to be your commute to work. So if you're sitting in your car or on public transport, then you're at work, sitting for several hours, usually more than 6 hours a day. Then you come home and you're sitting down on a sofa, then you decide to go to the gym for an hour. It doesn't quite cut it. Of course, it's better than being sedentary all day and never going to the gym and not doing anything else physically active. But if you want to get the best out of your working day, have regular movement breaks. have regular movement snacks, plus go to the gym, if that's your thing. But just breaking up sedentary time for the day is the most beneficial way of incorporating the health benefits without necessarily encroaching on too much of your time during the workday.
Exactly, because you'll save so much time then as well. You won't
Yes.
have to just allocate extra time for exercise at the end of the day if you incorporate it throughout the day.
Throughout the day.
And you can focus better as well.
You can focus better, you're more productive. So for employers, it's a way to justify incorporating more movement opportunities for your staff, because actually you're thinking about the bottom line, you're thinking about, you know, less staff absence, you're thinking about more collaboration, better building rapport amongst your colleagues and the like, and this is one of the best ways of doing so. So rather than it being a once-a-year event where you say, hey, let's have a team building event, you can kind of team build all of the time. You know, you can start having fun during your meetings of productivity where you're saying, right, we've got to brainstorm, spend 30 seconds being physically active, just get the juices flowing, get the brain
What about
engaged.
resistance in the office then? So
Resistance in terms of people not liking.
Your boss doesn't want you to be having too much fun or moving around or leaving your desk. Sometimes it's looked down upon if you leave your desk too much.
Yes, I actually have an article on the 10 benefits of exercise or movement at work. Leaving my desk is actually going to be counterproductive from a work objective point of view. And actually the evidence tells us that's not the case. So you'll get more out of your staff. They'll be happier at work. They'll be better able to manage stress. So no point having staff who are burnt out, right? Who are not at work.
How does movement during the day or exercise help with stress?
So physical activity is one of the best ways to modulate stress, to improve your ability to manage stress correctly. So if you think about it, if you're at work and you've got deadlines and you know you're stressed about what your colleague thinks of you or whatever the issues are at work, if you have real stressor like physical activity, which is an acute stress, it better helps you to maintain resilience. It better helps you to improve your body's ability to manage and regulate those hormones, like cortisol is one of those hormones.
Yeah, because you get to release some of it instead of just sitting
Yes, instead
with
of
that
sitting
cortisol.
and, you know, your mind just kind of preoccupied with that stressful, oh my gosh, you know, actually you forget about your worries whilst you're being active. So there's a distraction point, but there's also a physiological benefit. So there's a psychological benefit of, hey, I'm not thinking about it anymore whilst I'm exercising or being active, but also you have a physiological benefit, which means that your body's just basically able to say, hey, I know now how to better handle cortisol and adrenaline. And instead of having like just being wired and elevated cortisol all the time. And
so if you're stressed at your desk then, say in a work environment, and you get up and go for a walk, that's always so relaxing. And is that because you're releasing the cortisol and walking it off?
Well,
or how does it work?
Well, yeah, I mean, any physical activity will help to modulate the stress hormones. So yes, there's a benefit. You're more mindful. Usually if you go for a walk, you're in nature, which also improves and manages that. I mean, there are so many benefits in relation to physical activity, not just at work, but the benefits outside of work will also help you at work. If you can also do it at work, right, then you're not using any excess time.
Yeah, you're saving a lot of time that way.
Yeah. So we're all time pressured, we're all time constrained. We're all thinking of ways of kind of hacking our work day to be more productive, to get more done in a short amount of time. And this is one of the ways of doing so. So improve your productivity by being more physically productive.
Throughout the day, yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me about animal moves, because that sounds very exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, animal moves are just about, I have a book called Animal Moves, and it teaches us how to be more, to reference the animal kingdom and make decisions around how we should be moving more like them. So I want to be like as fast as a cheetah. I want to be as graceful as a gazelle. I want to walk like a cat. I want to be able to climb trees. Whatever you envisage the animal kingdom doing for movements that you feel you would enjoy at different intensities, different types of movement abilities and skills. Humans can pretty much mimic most of those. Obviously not as well, because we should be generalists, but that's what Animal Moves is about as a concept for the office environment, where you don't need workout wear, you don't need a workout mat, you can do it in your chair, you don't have to be kind of grunting and groaning in the office, beads of sweat. You can actually get some movement standing or sitting at your desk without looking like you're trying to do some yoga poses, for example.
Can you show me some of those?
We're not.
Pretend I'm, or if you tell me what to do.
It's difficult without, okay, so some standing examples.
Yeah, okay.
Reversing this sort of position.
Yeah.
Here,
Or
like,
over
you know,
here.
right? And so you're gonna be getting some roundness in the upper back, lots of tension in the neck, headaches, migraines. So a great way to reverse that, you can do this standing or sitting, hands behind the head, okay? And you're just gonna be pulling the elbows back as far as you can.
It's also like a power pose as well, isn't it?
And you're gonna be squeezing the shoulder blades. So you wanna feel that kind of pinch.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, like the bunny hop
And
one.
yes, like the bunny hop. It's like a standing bunny hop or seated bunny hop.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And so just holding that for, 10, 15 seconds and then relax. So that releases a lot of tension.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's just one example. Thinking about how you can undo some of the issues
Undo the
around
damage
desk.
caused by sitting at a desk all day for 8 hours. Yeah.
Taking some deep breaths as you do so. So that's just one example of what I call a bunny pose. Okay. So another one at the desk could be, you're just gonna have to imagine you're at your desk and you're seated, right? And let's imagine you have a table that is rooted to the ground.
Yeah.
So you put your hands under, or even on top of the table actually.
Okay.
Hands on top of the table.
Imaginary
and you
table.
Push down as hard as you can.
Yeah.
So you're bracing upper body, the core, front and back, and you're kind of pressing down, press down. And even without a table, you can kind of just be able to feel that tension.
Yeah.
Right? So good.
Right,
So push that. Yeah, there you go. Right? And you just hold that again. Keep breathing, hold it for 10 seconds or so. So those are two exercises you can do at your desk. So one's kind of resistance based, one is postural based. Neither of those are really going to get you out of breath. You won't need to have a shower after doing those, and you don't need to be in workout wear. So the Animal Moves fitness deck, the office-based version, is really about, I've got a minute or two here and there throughout my day to do some movement at my desk.
And would you get stronger from doing those poses?
Well, stronger than, if the baseline is doing nothing at work, just sitting at your desk, then yes.
You'll strengthen your core as well.
Yeah, you're strengthening your core, you're going to be strengthening your muscles, you're going to be getting some postural changes.
And you'll change your physiology as well with poses like this.
Yes, of course you will.
At the same time, yeah.
So you'll lower your blood pressure.
If you're stressed out, open up, chest out.
Yes, exactly. And people may ask you questions as to what
what the hell are you doing at your desk?
But I used to work in an office, investment banking, really long days. And it was just almost impossible for me to find time to go to the gym at times. So I wish I had a resource like this where I go, I don't want to look like a yogi at my desk. I'm not going to get a yoga mat out and start doing warrior poses and stuff, but I can definitely do something like this. I can be a bit more conscious about movement. I can take the stairs rather than taking the lift or elevator. There's things I can do to get more movement into my day. And I can also incorporate some active commuting.
As
well. So by bike or by, if I'm taking public transport, I might walk
to the next station. Yeah.
Walk to the next bus stop. If you're going for a run, why just run for half an hour? Why not run for a bit, sprint to a tree, do some dips on the bench, climb a tree, jump up and tag the tree.
Just shake it up and incorporate a bit of play and fun into everything that you're doing.
Make it fun.
But what makes you so passionate about this?
Well, it changed my life, for one. And secondly, people just aren't having enough fun when it comes to physical activity. We see pain and punishment, and you've got to be the best version of yourself, and you've got to look a particular way.
And even with that exercise, there's so much dysfunction in mobility, isn't there?
Well, of course there is. If you become what you do.
It's not solving the problem
at all.
The problem is the lack of movement or the wrong kinds of repetitive movement, or not enough range of motion.
Not enough range of motion.
Yeah.
And then when we do exercise, sometimes we also are doing restricted movement patterns, which can again keep us here, You know, we're
Oh,
running,
gosh,
we're
yeah,
running like
that
this,
kind
for
of
example,
running. Yeah.
right? So it's good to actually be open through movement, not just by holding a stretch, but if we're moving in a way that means where can be nice and tight, but also nice and open as throughout our day, then that's who we become, right? So I used to walk like this, but now my posture is much better. But I don't spend time trying to stand with perfect posture. I'm just like, okay, I'm walking. I want to have a good vantage point when I'm walking. So it's natural for me to be as upright as possible, right? I want to be really comfortable and relaxed. I don't want to be slouching and shuffling my feet.
Yeah, and it takes extra energy if you're walking down like that anyway.
Yes.
But 3 things then.
Yes.
If you were going to tell people, make them make 3 changes that they could apply to their life for energy and fitness and movement, what would that be? What would your top 3 things be?
ABC. And I hope I can get this right now, as I just thought about it.
Yeah.
A would be avoid convenience.
Avoid convenience.
Avoid convenience throughout your day. Which means, in other words, take the stairs rather than the lift or elevator, right? For example, one example. Secondly, regular movement breaks. So B for breaks. So every 20 minutes, stand up.
You're round, change your posture.
Boom, change posture, right? Instead of sending an email about, hey, we're gonna catch up at 2, go to the person's desk and say, you're gonna catch up at 2. So regular movement breaks. And 3, you wanna focus on challenges.
Challenges.
So those challenges don't have to be run a 5K, run a 10K, let's do obstacle course racing. You know, it doesn't have to be the big ticket items that are on your bucket list. Think of daily challenges. So your daily challenge might be, you know what, I'm gonna get to work without using public transport. You know, it's gonna take me 40 minutes walking to the office. I'm gonna do that today. That's my challenge of the day. And then you'll get to the office and you might go, you know what? I wasn't gonna walk back home, but I feel like doing that. And there's no pressure.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Darryl.
You're welcome.
Lovely to have you here. A pleasure to speak to you after the Ancestral Health Symposium.
We need to finish off with a game of tag.
Okay. Move back.
So.
Without pulling this out.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So remember, we're going to tag between the hip and the knee.
Yeah.
First person to 10.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you should see she's just so aggressive, but she's still lost. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Where can people find more about you?
Primalplay.com is the website where I blog. I have lots of research, lots of examples of activities like this.
And they're so much fun. They
Thank
really
you.
are.